Oh, I said I'm going to take you somewhere quickly. Okay. But before we go to that, the government of Tinubu that is probing the Central Bank of Nigeria for Central Bank of Nigeria, and then the former governor of the bank, Emefiole, who has been under arrest for the past 5 months. He was released on bail just last week. And then the EFCC brought him to court again today. And this time around, they were charging him for 1.3 billion naira procurement fraud. Central Bank of Nigeria paid for something, 1.3 billion naira. And Emefiole couldn't account for that 1.3 billion naira. These guys, they looted over 100 trillion naira from Nigeria, looted or mismanaged over 100 trillion naira. And they are charging him for 1.3 billion procurement, you know what I mean? Austerity. I'll play you something from Malawi.
I know that there will be some who created this mess that I'm now cleaning up, who will be the loudest in calling me names, claiming that I am the problem, and calling on citizens to attack me. But I'm not intimidated by that. I'm here to serve Malawians. And to do so, I'm prepared to do things that are painful as long as they are the right things. The most painful thing by far has been the recent devaluation of our currency to correct the false value of the kwacha based on nothing and rebuild true value in the kwacha based on production of exports. I know that this decision has caused a lot of pain, and I know that all of us now have to make big adjustments in spending so that we can prioritize those areas that are most productive and stay the course until our economy becomes productive and profitable again. In making those painful adjustments, I myself have to lead by example. This is why, effective immediately, all of my international trips between now and the end of the fiscal year, beginning with my trip to COP28 at the end of this month, are canceled. By extension, I'm putting a freeze on all public-funded international trips for all public officers at all levels, including those in parastatus, until the end of the financial year in March. In fact, all cabinet members currently abroad on public-funded trips must return to Malawi with immediate effect. Any travel deemed absolutely necessary by anyone during that period must be submitted to my office for my personal authorization. Secondly, I order that all fuel entitlements for cabinet ministers, principal secretaries, directors, and all members of senior management of public institutions should be cut in half with immediate effect. Thirdly, until further notice, I order the Secretary, the President, and Cabinet to circulate to all public institutions a criteria for local trainings and local travel that will be acceptable, as well as a cap on how much of their budgets can be spent on allowances for such trainings and trips. By doing this, I am effectively ending the practice of draining public coffers to spend on allowances for useless activities. I know that
Nigeria is so corrupt, which I regret the day I was born in this country. It's unfair. This is unfair now. This is unfair. Nigeria is so.
And I think that's what many are going to be thinking. Reasonable leadership all over the world. What they do when their economy or their economies are in crisis is to see how to cut down waste and invest in critical, infrastructure of the country, critical sector of the economy, in order to keep jobs and keep the economy running until it kind of bounces back and everybody can begin to live their luxury life wherever it is. That is not with Nigeria. The criminals are telling Nigerians that they will need to sacrifice. But they want to be everywhere with zero return. Tinubu and his gang. I mean, I don't have to kind of repeat myself before you begin to, where you are right now, begin to juxtapose some few things and be like, man, why this and why that? It's easier, isn't it? And when I saw that, I saw the questions of some people were saying, what would any other person would have done in Nigeria's situation? A lot. And they start with real decisions. Anybody who sees what Nigeria is and cares for a minute tiny bit, they will not approve billions, hundreds of billions of borrowed money for car purchases, for yacht. They won't. Such money could make significant, difference in some critical sector of Nigeria economy, even if it is given up as a loan to these sectors. A reasonable person won't do that. So what would another person have done in this situation? A reasonable person won't remove subsidy. And at the same time, use the money to buy cars and build office and renovate houses. Houses for president and vice president in places where they are not going to be or be working. A reasonable person won't do that. And there are so many things a reasonable person won't do. A reasonable person won't lie to the country and tell them that they are removing subsidy, only to go behind them to start asking for loans that they will use as a subsidy for dollars for their friends. Subsidy out of petrol, but there is subsidy for dollars. You won't do. A reasonable person won't do that. But these ones are not reasonable. They don't give a damn. Now they try to think for them and hope they actually know what. No, they don't. They don't give a damn about you. Joyce Banda was in Nigeria yesterday. So was at an event, right? And so was Obi too. It was all about wrong and terrible leadership and the consequences for that, right? I'll share with you. Because I picked that up, then I'm going to come back to Sharid and his consequences too. Here.
Thank you. Thank you. Your Excellency. Your Excellency. Our dear Governor. Please, mine is just a remark. Your Excellency, our dear Governor, and my dear brother, Professor Charles Soludo. Your Excellency and our own dear mother, who have spoken so well that all we can do today is to go back and reflect on that your wonderful speech. And I thank my dear elder brother for inviting you. Mine is a simple remark which will not take more than 2-3 minutes. And it's to thank you most sincerely for the honor of coming to Nigeria for this wonderful lecture. Excellency, my little contribution to your speech is that the problem of Africa, problem of Nigeria, rests squarely on leadership. It is bad leadership that is the problem of Africa. It has nothing to do with colonialism. We were colonized years ago. Today, it is African leaders that have turned Africa into a gigantic criminal enterprise. And I'll give you an example. Let me use this university. Let me use this university to give you an example of the problem we face in our country. This university, if you're employed here, you work hard for several years to be a professor. And if you're a professor in this university, your salary is 400,000 naira. And if they pay you without spending your money for 30 years, your salary will amount to 144 million, which is not up to what we used to buy a car for a legislator in Nigeria. That is the problem of Nigeria. That is the problem of Nigeria. That is number one. Number two, this university where you are, the overhead they give to the Vice Chancellor from federal government of Nigeria is about 10 million naira. So in 1 year, they will get about 120 million naira. They have over 500 professors, over 4,000 lecturers, over 40,000 students. They get 10 million naira, 120 million naira a year. So 5 of universities like this will get about 600 million naira annually, which if you convert to dollar today, is about 500,000 naira. That is what we use to go to a meeting of United Nations for 1 week. It's unacceptable. That is the problem of Nigeria. That is the problem of Africa. We can afford to do that with less than 10%. So it's clearly on our destiny. So I thank you for being part of this crusade. I'm sure our governor, every other person, we are part of this crusade. We must dismantle this criminality. That is the only way it can work. Thank you and God bless you. Thank you.
Please raise up your hand if you sensed any lie in what he just said. I mean, just for a moment, let's just say for a moment, whether you are obedient or you're not obedient. Did you see the way he was able to not only play with number, but give some accurate figures, data about the school where he was invited as a speaker? He knows the numbers of staff they have. He knows how much they get. And then he put all of that together to give you a very simple analogy. Now imagine somebody who is your president, who actually sees this lacuna, this massive gap of wastage and investments. Somebody who are that smart, would that person go and sign a check and say they should go and buy cars of 48 billion? Because some of una get mental problem, una the craze, your craze no get cure. A lot of you said, this man, this strategic man, listen to him.
I don't want to sit here and reveal all my strategy. I am the first speaker among the 3 of us running. So they will spy on me. So you will have a limited answer here today. Another day you can bring me back. But that's part of what I do.
That's a Korofo Pangolo. The one that cannot articulate anything. Today, you are now saying, if it is Obinko, what is he going? You know that somebody who is that sensible, who knows, who could sit down and be like, wait, 160 million naira cars. And the entire university structure in this place, they are getting 120 million naira a whole year. So a sensible person, will not do what these rogues are doing. You should at least, remind yourself of that. 600 million naira. 120 million naira for each university. Not be all of them a year. You know what I mean? Each university. So if 5 university collects 120 million naira, 10 million every month, okay? That would be 600 million naira. Now, 600 million naira with today's exchange in Nigeria is right. It's probably going to be 500,000 US dollars. That's how much Tinubu spent on Olosho in New York. Olosho, alcohol, drug, hotel, 420,000 US dollars. That's what they pay for hotel for 10 days. But there is no money to fund education. And today they said they have kind of reversed back that one. You know, they have increased your school fees, Abi. Now from that school fees, they are increasing. All of you that your school fees jumped from 25,000 naira to 250,000 naira. Do you know that Tinubu was planning to collect 40% of that money too? It is called IGR tax from the universities. As your parents are struggling to find that money, the new school fees, Tinubu was planning to collect 40% of that. That was why ASU said they are going to go to strike very soon. They cannot fund education, but they will tax sooner. Una go pay tax. So I heard that they have stopped that anyway. They say, okay, no, it's okay. Because the 120 million that will be mentioned, the schools are not going to get shishi anymore. You are going to be reading budget for education, but they are just money for the boys. They will tell you they are building new structure in University of Nigeria, Unsuka. They are building another theater hall, new theater hall, federal government theater hall. They are building it in Ahmadu Bello University. Oh, Obafemi Awolowo University is going to get another latest modern Senate hall. All of that are what they are going to be writing in your budget. But to fund education, to make education affordable, quality education, no, forget that. Your parents will cough every penny out. And because people scream that if you are going to tax them 40%, you said that, okay, see, I cannot fund you anymore. You need to go and find a way to support yourself. They told all the schools. Now, the schools now felt like, okay, if that is the case, we will need to, who are we going to tax? The students now, Abi, so that we can pay our staff. We can run the schools. To do that, this is how much we are going to charge everybody for this particular course or that. People started screaming, where are we going to see it? Oh, this is too much. Oh, President Tinubu come and help us. So as if to say, he is not the one behind it. Some of them are cursing ASU. They are cursing their schools. These useless people, very heartless. I'm not saying they are not heartless. I'm not saying they are not useless. But you forgot the fact that the rogues in charge of your governments in Nigeria, they have already unleashed them on you. Whatever blood they want to suck out of you, they are free to do so. But the guy is also asking for percentage. It's like, okay, go and take the money from anywhere you want to take the money from. Any money where you collect is going to be considered as IGR. And we go take 40%. 40%. Alpha Beta, Lagos State, Nigeria. they have a government, supposedly parody government, okay? Now, that government have ministries, like ministries. They have a ministry called the Ministry of Finance. They have agencies under ministries. Now, there is agency called LIRSC, Lagos Inland Revenue Service. Their job constitutionally is to collect taxes from the people, develop means of generating taxes, and ensuring the the good utilization of such resources. I don't know if that is part of it, but their main job is to generate money. That's what they do, LIRS. But they have people hired. They have the agency. They have, They have all the staff there. They have all the senior, junior colleagues there. They are all waking up every day that they are going to work as LIRSC. But guess who is actually collecting the tax for the entire Lagos state? You guessed right. Alpha Beta. Who is the owner of the Alpha Beta? Tinubu. So Alpha Beta will collect all the taxes in Lagos State for Lagos State government, okay? And they will now take 30% of that money. There are people who have argued that now it's just 20%. Some said it's 10%. Some said it's 40%. It was when we now confirmed that it was actually about 30% of the Lagos State revenue that they take, right? Now then people started parrying like, even God we created that be gonna go now 10% in they take. Criminals don't think like that. And that is what you call the state capture. If you can't do it, they'll bring somebody else who is going to do it. If you can't pay it, go away. Some people will try and pay it. That is how it's going to be. So people started screaming, no, we're not going to pay that too, because if they take 40% of the money we are going to collect from you, and you are still complaining that your school fees is high, we have to high it more, because if we are only going to be able to use 60% of that, 60% is not enough. So people are saying, but are you not going to pay tax? So we should pay tax, Abi. As a government institutions and all that, Abi, we should begin to pay tax. No wahala. As long as you be able to pay the bill. So they've stopped that too. That's a long story. I mean, that should be good news, but they didn't stop it. They want all of them to calm down for a while. Then they'll go and tell you later. They will say, they didn't stop it. They renegotiated it. It's not going to be 40% anymore. It is just 38%. The government has been very kind, and they have removed 2% from it. You go still pay them, and they could still increase your school fees again. I hope their student loan bank, they will be sort of a functional then, okay? So that you'll be able to actually go and borrow their money and give it to them. And when you give it back to them, they take 40% from it. And then you will need more. Then you go and borrow again. All my real life will go on the air serve. I don't even know how that is going to be like. But here is the other part of Obi's talk there, right? Chair.
Excellency, my contribution, my little contribution to your speech is that the problem of Africa, problem of Nigeria, rests clearly on leadership.
That's what he said. But it's more than that, too. There are many of us who also know that as much as some people will say leadership, and, we believe that the start of the followership too, the voluntary slaves. Have you seen this? It is called Turn by Turn Nigeria Limited. Okay? If you follow the rogues and the criminals in their shenanigans and their criminalities, and you manage to survive long enough, there is going to be a reward for you. Like that guy. is going to be a governor by being very loyal, supportive of Yeye Bello. So you can say leadership this, which makes sense. For example, today you could have been fighting over, let's say if Obi was your president, for example, you could be fighting over, Obi's failure to sign some money or approve some certain things. Some of you are going to feel proud and you are going to feel supportive and very combatant. Others are going to be like, it's not going to last. You see the way you are looking at the economic downturn and economic ruin that Nigeria is currently going through as the final, it's like the keg of a gunpowder of Nigeria now that can explode anytime. If to say Obi is your president, yeah, right now, a lot of you would have been waiting for the rebellion of the ruling class or the, what do you call it, the elite. If he has failed to sign any of those things and rather approve money to other things that would have made a lot of you feel like, yeah, that's what we are saying. Maybe that would have sent some signals to some other part of Nigeria to begin to feel like, oh, things don't change in Abuja now. Abuja is not about just sharing anymore. That kind of thing, right? That would have put Nigeria on a different trajectory. Not like it's going to be like bubbly. No. I mean, like, it would have been positively sort of, so this guy, you know what I mean? Like, you would have been like, I don't believe this guy if you do this, or maybe it probably would have been something else. I'm just saying. So to those who are asking themselves that, what would Obi have done? I mean, I'm just asking you to look at that. In that same Kogi state, I'm not sure. Watch this.
To speak to INEC, to commend INEC for the credible job they come to Kogi State to do. To give INEC kudos because they have not only come to Kogi, they've come to Kogi to rescue the mandate of the people. They conduct free, fair, and transparent election. And also, we want to use this opportunity to appreciate the security agency, the army, the police, the civil defense, all the security agencies who were in Kogi for a job well done, because it is a transparent election, because it was transparent, peaceful, and everybody, it is how you lie your bed, you lay on it.
In the past, we are aware of the kind of election that do happen in Kogi State. They will be characterized with violence, malpractice before now, but in the last 2 or 3 elections that happened in Kogi State, INEC has conducted, especially this November 11, 2023 election, as one of the most credible elections that's ever happened in this country. We give room for improvement, why not? But for anyone to come and rubbish a sensitive agency or institution of government like INEC because you did not win the election, it is totally out of place. We will not support such. If you contest election and you lose, the proper thing as a responsible citizen for you to do is to go to the tribunal. You need not incite the people against INEC. You need not incite the people against the Nigerian police.
The election in Kogi State, the election in Bayelsa, the election in Imo State has met all requirements of the law and all minimum standard needed to conduct an election. Also, as you are aware, the election in Kogi State, where I come from, is one of the most freest elections.
So if I tell you about umboot slaves, obedient fools, sophisticated morons, voluntary slaves, bastards, and then people destroying people. I know waiting at the talk. For those of you who might think, those people you saw on your screen, they were APC. No, they are not. They are PDP members, young people in Kogi states. We saw where election result sheets were already filled before they even cast the first ballot. We saw the violence. It's all right. I mean, we're surprised anyway. But they were doing all of that to get back at Dino, because the Dino, their own party member, party candidate, gave them 250,000 naira per polling unit for Kogi election to buy votes. But most of the places, they didn't even bother buying votes, especially in Kogi. The results were already written. So Dino is asking all of those who collected money from him and they did not deliver to return the money. Surprisingly, PDP U2 in Kogi put themselves together, held a massive rally, and they denied Dino, and they supported INEC, supported APC, and which is fine. Sure, you get. The moment all of that is done, they will all go back home. The ones who are going to look, did you see all their faces? Did you see those faces? I mean, looking at them tells me everything I needed to know. Young people whose poverty has been weaponized. Take a look at their faces again.
To speak to,
including the one that put on that purple dress, glasses, and cap. Look at their faces, and all your answers are there. I'll tell you something about it after just 20 seconds.
To speak to INEC, to commend INEC for the credible job they come to Kogi State to do. To give INEC kudos, because they have not only come to Kogi, they've come to Kogi to rescue the mandate of the people. They conduct free, fair, and transparent election. And also, we want to use this opportunity to appreciate the security agency, the army, the police, the civil defense, all the security agencies who were in Kogi for a job well done.
And they are like that. You see all those faces? Those are the faces of the political Oceans. Political jobbers. They are from the pool of over 145 million Nigerians that are living in multi-dimensional poverty. Those young men, if you begin to sort of scan them one by one, 99% of them have no real job. You understand? But save for politics, these are the anger zones that always wait for their turn. If PDP should be in power in Kogi, those are the ones who are going to say they are the young people who represent, other stuff. They have them in APC too. So when they were talking about PDP, Labour Party, all of una make una come march together. And I was like, you see, this is what always will make me sound like a prophet all the time. Here you get. Because ideas like this makes it very easy for somebody like me to project and predict where it is going to end. These are hungry loafers that the system is breeding. They are in their millions. As you have them in northern Nigeria, you have them in southern Nigeria. As you have them in the west, you have them in the east. You have them in, You have them in the central. You have them everywhere. And they are the willing tools. If the assignment is to have them cause or wreak havoc, just give them money. They will do all of that. Even though Dino enters studio, they scream. Those ones don't need to. You can see on their faces. Watch this.
When I ran for the Senate for the first time, I won with about 90-something thousand votes from the West Senatorial Districts. When I ran the second time, I won with 60-something thousand votes in the West Senatorial Districts. Then you are now saying in the entire states, I won with 46,000 votes. I mean, INEC is oozing. INEC is a shame. And we have children. They forget that there's a God factor in the affairs of men. We will make sure Mahmoud Yakubu and his co-travelers suffer and they get the reaction of Nigerians on this. We will use every legitimate means.
Well, to be fair,
every legitimate means.
To be fair to what you're saying,
yes.
And we obviously don't take any sides. I mean, until there is a clear, demonstrable court-related evidence. I understand that.
Documents don't
but
lie.
Obviously, these things have
documents
to be verified in a
they
court
don't
of
lie.
law.
You can go to INEC portals and speak with you.
What I'm trying to say is that what you're saying tallies with what the situation room, the civil society situation room that objectively monitors elections,
because the truth has no volume.
Has been
you can't
saying,
reduce it, you can't increase it.
But I can't comment on that because obviously
fair enough.
that would have to be. But surely this is a classic issue for the new government of Bola Tinubu.
My brother, before now, I've seen different style of rigging. I've seen digital.
Well, you must have. I mean, you're a politician, so you're just as you're equally guilty, aren't you?
I've seen digital rigging. I've seen snatching of ballot papers. I've seen inflation of results.
Have you taken part in any of them?
I've never in my life seen this pattern that was used in Kogi State. It's legendary.
Yeah, but have you taken part? Have you taken?
Institutional.
Yeah, this one obviously, if it in fact it is the case, I mean, was so. You seem surprised.
Surprisingly done. Yeah, I never imagined that it could be done.
But what I'm wondering is that have you done any measure of what you're talking about? You say you've seen ballot boxes snatched because I mean it's a matter of who outrigs the other person.
I'm saying in the past. I'm saying that comparative analysis with the past. I've seen different types of rigging.
Right.
But this brazen daylight robbery, I've never seen it before. And INEC demonstrated that they are co-travelers with APC in this business. The speed with which they accepted all the concocted results, all the handwritten, results written even before accreditation, with all the mutilations I have shown you, reducing votes of PDP openly and increasing that of APC, and people voting above accreditation, people even voting above, results of votes shown is more than PVC collected. I've never seen this type before. And it is appalling, and we know that the God Almighty that we serve will punish Mahmoud Yakubu. He will not go free. We are going to organize protests anywhere we see him. We are writing letters to all international communities, all embassies. Everybody must know that he is a fraud. INEC is a fraud, and we will not allow it.
Canary Dino. You could tell Abi. That one enter. He enter and well. The way he demonstrated, even though he's an actor, the way he demonstrated, I felt the pain, the genuinity of what kind of rigging is this? Even none of us, we have been in this business for a while. Like, I mean, I've never seen anything like. Baba, you go see things. Oh, sure. Democracy is gone. You probably never had it. It's been sort of a, fluke, fraud. A lot of us are just coming to realize it, I think. If they have, or if they bring in external auditor or auditors to come and audit the Nigeria's book, and they are allowed to make public their discovery, I would sort of believe that solar eclipse will happen in Nigeria in the lives of the rogues in charge of Nigeria. If they allow that, but it's probably just my imagination. Because there are people who will tell you today that, Baba, nothing they shock us again. Say, yeah, Baba, did you hear what happened? What happened? Man, they said that, can you believe that? Oh, Baba, I thought you wanted to tell me something. That one no shock you. Say, Baba, you know they say I be from Nigeria. Nothing they shock us anymore. You know that kind of thing. If I'm not using my imagination too much. You know why did I say that? If I have to sit and just imagine the wastage that were made public right before our very eyes under this APC, Egbekegbe, Bokwari, I just imagine the orders that are not made public, especially the NNPC. So when they started with Emefiole, we were like, okay. Well, not me. I think some of you felt like, or maybe I'm just trying to like make that up then. Don't let us go there because I didn't see much of people who were surprised. I saw many people who felt like, he deserves it. But for those who are really interested, like, is his arrest, was his arrest about trying to bring to book those who committed economic treason against Nigeria, destroyed lives, destroyed businesses? Is that going to be a thing? I was like, no. You can't expect a criminal to fight a criminal. It is expeditical. It is just for show off. I actually said that this was going to be Dasuki Gate 2, but it's going to be a Emefiole Gate. Instead of Dasuki Gate, it's going to be Emefiole Gate. Just media trial, media noise, and the rest of that, but nothing substantial, nothing concrete, nothing meaningful is going to come out of it. It's going to be drama after drama for years until everyone forgets about it. If I ask you, how do you feel about Dasuki today? Because I still very much remember, and I'm going to remind you, even if you have become a repentant bat idiot, what do you call it, a Buharidin or Buhari idiot, I'm still going to remind you what it felt like for you when Bokwari announced that they have arrested Dasuki. And in fact, the money meant for fighting the Boko Haram, $2.1 billion US dollars, was what Dasuki shared to PDP stalwarts for Jolantan's 2015 second term election. And a lot of you, the rage, the anger in you, the causes, thank God that APC, the change you voted for, they are going to clean the place of all of the people like Dasuki. How could they even sleep at night? Our soldiers are sleeping in the bush. They did not get paid. Dasuki and Jonathan, they were spending the money. They were throwing parties. Do you know the anger? Do you remember the anger you felt when you probably, bought the lie that the money meant for the fight against Boko Haram was what Dasuki shared? So many of you even sentenced Dasuki based on your own discovery from the APC, Egbekegbe's lies. Have you forgotten how you felt? How could they do that? Chibok girls, Nigerian soldiers, the people did this, Boko Haram have killed. Man, they were supposed to kill this Dasuki. They were supposed to kill all these people. You remember? Then gradually you started realizing that it was a complete joke. In fact, everything you thought you saw, the terrorism you thought you saw,